Hello there, folks! Welcome to ZSR! Welcome back! We are here! We are getting going. Give me just one moment to turn the music off, get us switched over, and...
Missing boy.
Hey! I told you the countdown was at 0. That means stop, because I'm giving the intro! We are here, we are having some fun, and we are just about ready to get started here.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, are we introing ourselves?
Yeah, take it away, guys.
Hello, I am Sweet Love, also known as Sweet Love. I am the boyo with the weirdo sleep schedule. And I've played this rando for like 2 months, maybe. But, I've been playing a bunch of it because it's sort of addictive. And I really like the combat of this game. I like it a little too much. I can't stop myself from fighting everybody all the time. Hello. Victor, take it away. Yeah, it's not sweat.
Okay. Yeah, good night, everybody. I'm Victor Santa Fe, and the guys are ready up on the chat. And yeah, trailz is giving me the heads up that I can quit the room and let them race. So I'm gonna do that, and the race will start at any moment.
Remember that we've got about a 30-second delay from real time to what we are seeing here because we're all synced up. Both trackers and the comms are all watching the same thing.
Sweet.
Okay, so we have both players playing with light green Link. It's a very interesting choice.
So if you're new to this game, basic necessary routing in this early game is 2 things. You got to find the raft eventually, and you have to find something that will get you through doors, which is either the fairy spell or the magic key. So those are the 2 things that are absolutely necessary to get at this point. That's a magic container that Buzz just picked up. Each block in the magic and life bars is 16 points. So that's the cost of each spell is listed in the menu of spells. You'll see that once people actually acquire spells. So Buzz now has 80 magic points, whereas trailz just got that too. And oh yeah, Jay, thanks, Jay Coper. So there's a flag to drop extra keys in palaces. Normally some items are keys and some items are point bags. I guess those are all keys now. I guess that might have explained why the last seed was stingy with points. So, Dick Shake is the author of this wonderful randomizer. So everybody give him a thank you.
Yeah, we should. And well, what the players are doing right now is they want to find the locations that are open to them at this point, the 5 caves in the overworld in this western continent, and the grass tile, which they already found.
Mm-hmm.
Also the towns, and they can get free spells out of 2 of those. And yeah,
So
checking
you
out
just
the
saw
palaces.
So you just saw trailz leave a town that he walked into. That is the town of Saria. There's a Link apparently can't swim, so there's like a really dinky river, but that's enough to keep him from crossing. And you can't go to the side of the town that has stuff unless you find Bagu, which is supposed to be Bug, which he lives in one of the forest tiles, or unless you get the fairy spell and ferry across it.
Yeah, very rarely you get a Bagu required Sith. All the time I have been playing, I have gotten that like 2 or 3 times mostly. at most.
I'm kind of I do that before jump cave, so especially when it's dark. So I may not have been required, might not have seen it, but perhaps jump cave could have been an alternative. But I'd rather not find out. Okay, trailz enters palace 2 or 5. That is palace 2. Possible glove block. So the palaces without glove blocks are 1, 4, and 5. Palace 1 is pretty much diggable whenever. 4, you can get the item with just keys through doors or fairy, but you need reflect to kill the boss. And 5, if any of you were watching the last seed, 5 is just a beast with the most annoying boss of all the bosses.
Yeah, it gave our players on last race a hard time.
Lots of key drops. Right. What is your first favorite Zelda game? Missing number 74 in chat. So the sort of cruel irony here is that the upstab technique you don't learn until you go east. But all these graveyard scenes in the west have all these enemies that are perfect for upstab. They're all overhead enemies. It would be nice to have that. And there's a death from Buzz, aka Dig Shake.
Yeah, thankfully, upstab is very useful in Great Palace, and it could be required too.
That's true. I think upstab is useful everywhere, but I am a fanboy of upstab. But why is Buzz Dig Shake? Does anybody know?
He always names himself Dig Shake when he plays this.
I also don't know why Bent Glass Tube is usually BHT instead of BGT. But
that's a very good question, and
yeah.
I don't have the answer for that.
I know BHT is like a food preservative. So trailz just got the magic key out of that trophy cave, which means no more worries about doors. That's a nice time to get it too, right at the start. It's kind of trolly to get the magic key after you, because there are no locked doors in the final palace at all. So if you get the magic key after you've cleared out the palaces, that's just like yeah.
So Bass Thunder just got a hint out of the Town of Mito that say that the raft is in the west, and that sounds pretty obvious, but it is not, because the west only entails the 5 caves and the grass tile. So.
Yeah, so that sounds like a troll hint, but when they say the raft is in the west, that does tell you it's not in Death Mountain, which is this, intricate interlinking 26 cave thing that you might see and you might not see. And it's also not in any of the palaces. If an item is in a palace, it'll say the boss by name, like that one. Rebanek is the boss of 3. Rides with the heart container. So the prize in Palace 3 is just a heart container. Not a super high value item. And Buzz is going to get our first spell. Let's see what that is. Looks like it's Reflect. So now he can enter Palace 4. It's one of the 2 absolutely required spells you needed to kill the boss of Palace 4. Let's see what trailz gets out of this item cave.
Yeah, this is normally a payback cave in the vanilla version, but in one of the latest updates to the randomizer, they changed it so that there could be big items in these caves, especially because there are 2 of the payback caves in the Eastern Continent, and there are no item caves in the Eastern Continent. So
heart container for trailz. It's a nice thing to get early. I mean, heart containers are not as necessary if you have high life level, but when he's already at life 4. Heart containers are most valuable when you're at life 1, 2, 3. Sorry to interrupt, Victor.
No problem at all. So, Bastander in the town of Saria, he can get a free spell after he finds the mirror for the base lady. And
Yeah, second shortest fetch quest in the game. It's still longer than the fetch quest for water in
oh yeah,
the town of Naburu, which you'll see in the east. But there's those 2 trivial fetch quests, which are kind of cute to figure out the first time when you're a kid. And then there are 3 very non-trivial fetch quests, which are the second and third and fourth items in the bottom row of your tracker. So one of them trailz already got is the medicine. That's highlighted for him. And once he reaches the blindingly white town of Mito, he can cash that in.
yeah. And Bastander got the spell out of the town of Saria.
Yeah, that's a thing, by the way. There's a spell called Spell. It does 2 things. The first thing it does is grow a building out of the ground in one of the towns in the east, with an item in it. And then it also turns enemies into bots, which are those blue slime guys. Not the strong enemies, though. Not the ones you would want to do that, which makes it not that useful. There's the magic key for Buzz. There's our blindingly white town of Mito. There are certain NPCs that can give you hints, and once you play this game enough times, you'll know who they are. They're basically, it's actually pretty friendly to new people because any open door is going to have one of those hint NPCs, and any door that opens that you see opening when people walk out of it like that, you can get a spell. So, and all the other buildings are just closed. So there's Thunder. In chat, they were wondering who's going to get Thunder. Well, they both have it. So I think they both have it. No. Buzz doesn't have it. trailz got it. trailz got it first. He has both of the absolutely required spells. The fairy spell that's the last bottom right thing in the tracker. That was chosen. It's not an absolutely required thing in every seed, but it is very likely to be required because either Palace 6 or the Grand Palace, there's a few different fairy blocks. And actually Palace 5 has a fairy block as well. So yeah, the fire spell. So, okay, fire is this spell that is largely regarded as kind of useless, especially in the rando, because you need it to kill certain enemies in the regular game, but not so much in the rando. There's like sword immunity that's shuffled to random enemies, but fire doesn't necessarily kill those either. So fire itself is kind of just not really a thing. So they've given it value by tying it to a random spell. So you'll see experimentation with... There's another hard container for Buzz. You'll see experimentation with the fire spell to determine which spell it is tied to. I mean, when fire is thunder, that's a party. That's some good times. Because fire goes down to costing between 6 and 10 magic points at high levels. And remember, it's 16 points per box on that magic bar. So, you can get to a point where you can cast thunder 16 or 20 times in a row before you have to refill magic. If it's tied to fire. It's kind of cool.
So we see trailz in Palace 4.
Yeah, and you can also reverse, and as Jacob points out, you can also reverse engineer the fire spell. If you start shooting fire with any other spell, then you know that's the link. Okay, about Palace 4, go ahead. Take it away.
Yeah, so trailz, as he has everything he needs to beat Palace 4, I guess he's saying, like, let's go for it. And yeah, he beats the boss. Let's see if he comes back for the item or if he keeps going, finding stuff.
So Buzz was told to go east for the trophy in that town. Go east means one of 6 locations, which are a water tile that you can only walk on with boots. One of the, I think, 6 or 7 desert tiles has a platform with an item on it. There's 2 caves that have PVEGs in the original game. And then there's 2 items in the town of New Kasuto. So water tile, desert tile, cave, Kasuto. That's one of those 6 locations has the trophy.
So I believe the guys already got to the conclusion that the raft is hammer blocked. So that's why they're starting to do the palaces.
Yeah. And where's the hammer? How much you? What? I think the smart money this time is going to bet that the hammer is in Hammer Cave. So, if anybody doesn't know, so Death Mountain is this super annoying network of endless caves. There's one cave in there. It's very distinctive. It has pillars in the front. Can't miss it. That has the hammer in the normal game. Hence the moniker Hammer Cave. So if the hammer does end up in there, we will say Fred. Fred means that an item is in the same place that it is in the vanilla game. That is, I don't know why, but it's named for Fred Coughlin, who wrote a few different randomizers. Yeah, the music is great, isn't it? I totally agree with that. Absolutely.
Yeah, one of the funny facts about it is that it is the only of the classic Zeldas that is not composed by Koji Kondo. So yeah, this is composed by a guy named Akatsuka. He composed also things for Punch Out and for Excite Bike, among others. And yeah, this is probably my favorite Zelda soundtrack.
Yeah, I even caught my wife singing the Palace music the other day. It's like, yeah, that's right. It's like, yeah, that's right. There's a different music once you get into the final palace. It's pretty iconic. But I don't know. I like just about everything about this game, to be honest. Oh, he did not make that jump.
Yeah. I used to.
In a worst case scenario, he might have to restart the palace to make that jump. That's very possible. Go ahead.
Yeah, I leave it to destiny when I reach that point, and I don't cast the jump spell ever. So I say, if I make the jump,
just don't let go of the A button.
So be it.
The longer you hold down the A button, the more of a jump you get, because gravity becomes stronger once you let go of the A button, basically. So if you just tap it, you'll never make the jump. If you hold it down, it's pretty easy to make the jump.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think it's 50% stronger gravity once you let go. That's why your jumps are shorter when you just tap the button. They're not actually shorter, but gravity is stronger. Okay.
And Boss Thunder is the first one to find the item.
Item room. Yeah.
We'll see what it has.
Magic container.
And it's a magic container. Not bad. Not what he wanted, but it could be useful.
Yeah. If anyone else is of the school of thought that a magic container is clearly just like a snifter of whiskey or something. I mean, come on, guys. Magic liquid bottle. What else could it be? Yeah, trailz. Trailz is having a whale of a time here with the logistics of Palace 4. So Palace 4 is notorious for having lots and lots and lots of locked doors, but in this seed, there's your Hammer Cave. Notice the pillars.
Yeah, that was very quick.
Very quick. Sometimes Hammer Cave is at the end of a unique sequence of like 8 or 9 caves in a row with lots of possible wrong turns. Those seeds are fun. So 2 is, I mean, you know, that's a risk, calculated risk, because 2 is a possible glove lock. But yeah, I don't love if the candle is there, I would go Death Mountain first. If it's a dark caves, I would go Palace 2 first.
Yeah, and getting the magic key early kind of gives you that hint that there's something important in the palaces. It's not guaranteed, but kind of makes you want to go for the palaces first.
What's in there? I so called that. That's
And
a
it
Fred.
is.
That is a Fred hammer. I
So
called
Jay
that.
Cooper and I will have lost this race.
That is a hammer in Hammer Cave, ladies and gentlemen. And he just
Fred?
nope. You know what? Okay, so in Death Mountain, the other goal is what is called Spectacle Rock. It's actually the same Spectacle Rock that is a bigger rock in Zelda 1. In fact, if you in this vanilla game, there's like a miniature copy of Zelda 1 world, which is supposed to be the whole Zelda 1 world. That's like how they make the point that this world is so much bigger. But there's a rock in there that you can smash with the hammer, and I personally think it was not a great idea to nope out of there without finding the rock, because he has the hammer now. So you should go find that rock. And what some like boots or glove or something's under there. No, the raft is not under the Spectacle Rock because they told you to go west. If it was there, they would have said Death Mountain holds the raft.
That is correct. So I believe it was only one boulder blocked cave was up north. I guess Boss Thunder is going right to it.
Yes, indeed. Okay, so that cave that Buzz is in, that's a fun cave at low life levels when there's bubbles that are floating up from the lava. That can be tough. Most of the caves are pretty straightforward, but that one can be challenging. There's 3 enemies in this room. They're all big enemies because the Swiss flags don't mix up the size of enemies. I don't think we did Jay Cooper. I don't think Magic Container Cave is this one that forces you through a passage that is only your height. So that's fun when you get the red Dyros that throw unblockable axes at you. Although these guys could use Reflect on that. That would be anything that you can't anything you can't block with your normal shield, you can block with Reflect, basically. Except for some of the boss attacks. Go ahead.
So trailz found Bagu, and I don't believe it is required, but he will probably use it as a connector he probably thinks it could be faster for some things.
He doesn't usually talk to Bagu, so he must feel blocked. Yeah, who are the trackers? Who are the intrepid item trackers? I think Ms. Lost the Pirate, who is our technical problem fixer wizardess. I think she's doing the tracking. Along with doing an all-around stellar job of coordinating everything and everyone. So... This is our second ever race on the Zelda Speedruns channel. The first one was about 4 hours ago, and it's it's running very well. So these guys are doing a good job of logistics. All right. Entrance. I wonder if we get an entrance randomizer. So this kind of is an entrance randomizer. There's also the classic rando, which is the first version of this, and we still run races with that sometimes. That's the kind of crazy, I feel like I'm on mushrooms rando, where literally anything can be literally anything. Like you could walk into a tree and there's a palace there. Or you could, walk onto the raft dock and you could be in a cave. So if that's what you mean by an entrance randomizer, then that is available. That's the classic rando. Yeah, anything can be anything. I don't know that there's a way to just restrict it. I mean, there probably is. There's different levels of scramblage that you can do in the classic rando. So notice, all right, the placement of that gem in the statue that trailz just did, that knocks you up to the next level, no matter how many points of a difference it is, even if it's 1 point up or if it's 4,000 points up. So you want to try to manipulate that to give you, if you're close to a level, you can go out and farm a few points, and then the gem will take you to the next level. So yes, that was P2. Indeed. Yeah, there was. Did anybody get the item out of P2? This boss was pretty close to the entrance. Yeah, that's a good point. Well, it's also, I guess it's not even possible, really, because, you know, the randomly switching entrance randomizer depends on forest tiles and desert tiles and such being in specific locations. So, yeah, well, I could be an annoying pedant and say he's in the west because he hasn't sailed east yet. I still think Spectacle Rock would be a worthwhile fetch quest here. Let's see what's under it.
Yeah, Buzz Thunder is going for it.
Yeah, trailz is about to get it. Has trailz found the hammer yet?
And it is a glove.
Oh,
I'd like to think that he got a hint about it, but I'm not sure.
It's the glove of love. I don't think he got a hint. I think he just got a hammer, and he was like, I think I'll take this hammer and go smash something with it. But, I called that one too. I shouldn't play the lottery today. It's like, what if that's the glove over there? What do you know? The Hammer Cave was it was pretty close to one of the entrances. I feel like Buzz just kind of walked in and was in Hammer Cave. One item left that is probably required. Is this a quiz? Okay. So the flute, if you remember, does two things. It dispatches the black octopus in the middle of the path, which that thing rarely blocks anything of note. But it also, if you see 3 rocks in a triangle configuration, it's called three-eyed rock, then blowing the flute reveals the hidden palace there. In that case, it's required. Other than that, it makes cool music, and that's about what it does. Alright, there's the Hammer Cave for trailz.
Now the question is if trailz will go for the Spectacle Rock or not.
You know, Ms. Lost. I don't think their last seed was a slog. I think the memory container. I don't think they found the memory container.
Yeah, that was definitely
that seed wasn't bad.
Seed.
It wasn't bad at all. They were their own worst enemies there. So maybe that means this will be a slug. Although it's not looking that way. It's Magic Key, Thunder, Reflect. Looks like this one's going to be a go mode. Maybe trailz could sub-hour this one. Cross fingers. Go in there. Why are you turning around? There you go. That hammer.
So hammer for trailz. Now he has access to the raft and he has access to the glove, but he doesn't know that the glove is there.
So Buzz is nominally ahead, but trailz kills a lot of stuff at the opening of the game to level. Although right now they have the same levels, so I guess it hasn't been as effective. But once trailz is in go mode, he goes. He is very fast.
So he's walking out of Hammer Cave, so I guess he will go for Spectacle Rock. So that makes me think that there was actually a hint about the glove being in that mountain.
Yeah, even if not, if you got the hammer, I mean, she saw the rock. He knows where it's at. I mean, it's pretty tempting. So, worst they would have would be a pea bag, which would still be pretty valuable at this early stage. Yeah, Buzz has a glove, and trailz will probably get it soon as he smashes that rock.
Oh, he walked out of Death Mountain.
Whoopsie! And that's the rando for you.
Maybe. No, I don't know.
The glove was under.
Oh yeah, it's because the boulder cave with the raft was closer to Death Mountain than the beginning of the game. I guess it was a routing decision.
Interesting. I bet it's going to be an unfortunately long time before he goes back in there. Because he's going to have to go back in there unless this is one of the under 1% of seeds that don't require the glove in the last palace. So, okay, that glove. So the Great Palace has 52 rooms. If you exclude the dead end rooms, I think there's like 47, of which 13 need the glove to get through them. Actually, 15. So that's a lot. It's very hard to have a route through Great Palace that doesn't have to glove through something. So it's virtually assured that you need the glove. You'll see these max rando seeds where if they are given everything else for go mode, they might just jump in there and see if they can do it without the glove. But usually that gets negatoried pretty soon. Yeah. Yep. Spectacle Rock is the former home of Ganon in Zelda 1, and now you just smash the shit out of it. The heck out of it. Sorry, my French. Because Link is older now, and so you can smash stuff that he used to have to dive into giant dungeons that were inside. That, yeah, I know that both Buzz and trailz and RCS too like to follow a sail only once policy. Is it rated mature? Okay. Because of all the rage quit. Sweet. Anyways. I'm not going to name anybody. There are a couple players of this rando who are serious rage quit porn. You know what I'm talking about.
So, trailz getting the spell out of Saria?
That's not my experience in the classic. I still usually don't need to go to Death Mountain, unless the raft is in there. So, but it's usually just the containers, or maybe a magic key or something in there.
Yeah, there's a story there that Mike Matei, that's like the guy that helps the Angry Video Game Nerd a lot. He has a Twitch channel and he played the Zelda 2 Randomizer, and he was in Dead Mountain, and he said like, here's the Dead Mountain drop, and Rose City saying in the chat said there's no Dead Mountain drop. So Mike Matei got really pissed off, and then he went and went to Spectacle Rock that was already destroyed and say, hey, look, this is the drop. So yeah, it was a pretty awkward moment. So Rose City Saint and I make a lot of fun about it.
Yeah, as far as songs with similar lyrics go, at least you'd appreciate that one. So, oh yes, Rebenek, the horse iron knuckle without downstep. That's fun. I like that because I've actually learned to stab that. Yeah, to actually hit them both ways, like to hit them on the approach and then to hit them again in the butt on the on the retreat. So, yeah. Yes.
So
I don't hate Dragon Warrior. Dragon Warrior Randomizer is mostly just grinding for the first hour, which can get old. But I can't imagine commentating on an hour of grinding. But yeah, you're just doing math. Okay, go ahead, Victor. Sorry.
Yeah, so trailz has just gotten the flute out of New Kasuto from the magic container lady because he has 7 magic containers. I don't know how many of those she will ask for, and we still don't know if the flute is required. And a heart container in the spell tower.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't seen the Great Palace yet either. This could be a straight through routing where the Great Palace ends up on Maze Island and like just run it left to right. I think they are 50-50, but if Dig Shake is here, he could confirm or deny. But I want to say I remember that happening about half the time. So, but yeah, they are random in these flags. They could happen or not. So, and then in the flag sets, you can randomize items too. That gives you a 25% chance, I think, of getting each thing or each spell if you randomize those. But yeah. Okay, that is Palace 1. So that's pretty much a gimme at that point. That trailz in.
Yeah,
that's Barbo.
Trailz problem is that as he doesn't have the glove, he's still looking for. He will go for the item room of every palace he goes to.
That's like the story of the other seed. That boss of that palace was Barba. A lot of people get a little bit overzealous with their strategies on Barba and end up swimming in the lava. Sometimes Barba rewards patience and measured aggression. But yeah, that was nice. Seriously. There's the item room of Palace 1. And it's gonna be a point bag. At least it's 500. Some of those point bags are only 50. And like when you have to fight 2 Rebadaks and go over a lava fairy block in Palace 6 and you get a 50 point bag, that's not so great. Yeah, both of these guys are good at dodging overworld encounters. I just walk right into overworld encounters. I have no idea how to dodge them. Didn't even know you could dodge them until I watched trailz play a few times.
Yeah, he got some experience because he played on one of the vanilla tournaments.
And he was playing.
So he learned some things there.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, the Zoras and Zolas. R's and L's in Japanese are the same, so you'll see those kind of switched out at will. I mostly saw that called Zola in Z1, but I guess the Ankylosaurus looking guy on Maze Island is supposed to be the same dude.
Oh.
Or the same girl. I don't know if it's a she or a he. Thunderbird's definitely a she. No question about it. Menopausal, hot flashes, the works. That was almost a weird decision by Buzz. What weird decision? Down goes Horsehead in Palace 1 for trailz. Oh, like, oh yeah, did he know about P1? Oh yeah, that's weird. those, if those are Zolas or Zoras, those are, I don't love those. Those are one of the few Eastern enemies that I'm not pretty good at combating. I like the lizard dudes. Those are big points, and they're easy to kill. The blue lizard is actually, the lizards in general seem to be the only enemies that have no RNG to them at all, no randomness. Like they have a totally set pattern, which makes them very straightforward to kill. Buzz's file names are dig, shake, nothing, and nothing. Okay, trailz is checking desert tiles. So there's one of those, I think there's 7 desert tiles, maybe 6 or 8, but one of them is the desert tile. In the original Z2, it's a tile in the bottom corner of this oceanside desert. There's a platform on it that has a heart container in the original game. So basically one of those many, many desert tiles has a platform with an item on it. And that's what trailz is trying to look for when he's going on to all these desert tiles. The other ones are pretty useful. Like they have things like 1-ups and point mags and such. I mean, they're not, and also magic refills. So they're not totally useless. But they're not the desert tile.
And trailz is making a fortune out of those Lisafos. He uses thunder and he gets 500 apiece.
Yeah, we figure out what fire is. I want to say maybe life. I think I saw a life bar go up when someone tested it. So I think fire might be life. Maybe I'm thinking of a different sheet though. Yeah, 500. 500 for the blue ones is great. Because you can just, again, there's no randomness to when they throw those. But as opposed to the red Dairos, the strongest enemy in the west, there's actually some randomness to when they throw their projectiles. But the blue lizards, totally regular intervals. It's interesting. It's interesting because so much thought clearly went into the randomness of other enemies, like even things like slimes and bots and stuff, which those can definitely kill you when you're at low health.
And the shield spell for trailz out of the town of Olkasuto.
Indeed. The shield spell is half damage for that one screen only. It's like the tunics in other Zeldas, but for one screen.
So let's see how hard it is for the players to find the fairy spell. That could be a thing at this point. It's the only thing keeping Boss Thunder from being in go mode.
Yeah, you might as well try and see if they're not, if you can do it without the fairy spell. I would think, because it's not always necessary. I don't even know about the first. Yeah, trailz is still fighting everybody, interestingly enough. Although I get that totally. It's very satisfying to kill everybody all the time. Okay, I'm thinking of a different seed with that fire spell because these guys don't even have the fire spell yet. But when they get the fire, if they get the fire spell,
we'll find out.
By process of elimination is either in Naburu, the remaining town here in the east, which would mean it's free, or it's the trophy blocked spell in the west. It's one of those two.
So, but the players still haven't gotten the downstep technique, which which is pretty tough going into the Eastern Continent and doing palaces and everything without it. And yeah, Boss Thunder is in Palace 3, so we'll see him do a ribbon egg fight without down stuff, which is
And that's
pretty interesting.
That is the other item. So Trailz in quick succession has found both item caves in the east. And this one has a magic container, which is actually useful. The other one just had a 1-up in it. Notice that the magic container does refill your magic up when you get it. That's the other benefit. One interesting fact is that the magic ladies in the towns actually give you 255 points of magic. And the most magic you can have in your bar is 128. And that's if you have all 8 boxes. So what you can do with that is you can like keep casting spells so that you can make it to the next screen with the bar still refilling, and that way you can conserve it.
And we've got Great Palace on the maze.
Yep. There's 2 free items somewhere in that matrix of paths. The nice thing about Maze Island is they all count as roads, which means that there's no random encounters at all. But I think there are 7 forced encounter tiles, which sometimes they end up all right next to each other in one corner, which is always interesting. Because inevitably when that happens, you have to go through that corner to get to the palace. The boots make that much nicer too, because you can walk on that river and you can shortcut a lot of these trajectories. All right, Buzz versus Revenak. Taking a sacrifice. I like dubstepless Revenak.
And there's a kid for Trailz.
That is the missing boy from the town of Darunia, which is the eastern town with the purple sky. Although, interestingly, when you go indoors in that town, the sky outside is suddenly blue. True fact. Yeah, it would. Because otherwise, Buzz is just...
Yeah, he has a very big lead at this point.
Yeah, and he has the glove.
Something has to happen for Trailz to...
Trailz has no love. I haven't seen any explicit glove blocks yet. But, we haven't seen Palace. Have we seen Palace? That was Palace 3. That Buzz just did. And there were definitely glove blocks in there.
Yeah.
Because he walked through that room with square configurations of breakables. So, yeah. I don't remember. I don't think there were any glove blocks in 6. And there were definitely none in 2. Yeah.
I think I saw Boss Thunder jump the Canadian hole, but I don't know if it led him into the boss or if it led him into the item or something. No, it wasn't the item because he didn't fight Rebo in Palace 6. I don't know.
I think he fought one of the Rebos. Not the one that's the item one. I think he fought the other one. There are 2. So the Revenak, which is the horse mounted Iron Knuckle that Buzz just killed, there are 2 copies of that in Palace 6 as mini bosses. One is always right in front of the item, and one is anywhere at all. Interestingly, they are always worth the same number of points as the boss in 3. So all 3 of them are worth the same. Anywhere from 150 to 700, I think. I don't know. I was keeping an eye on 6, and I don't think there was glove block, but don't quote me on that. If anybody in the chat has confusions about anything, feel free to ask about it. I can clarify for you. Let's see. Okay, trailz is in the town of. This is Nibiru. This is the. How do you make your feet stop hurting? Compression, socks, elevate them, and get super feet insoles for your shoes.
Maybe casting the fairy spell in Valley of Death and fairy feeding could help.
And that. But no, if you actually have plantar fasciitis, then those three things will fix it. So. And then we got the herbalist weighing in the chat. Yeah, I mean, if you could fairy feet in real life, that'd be pretty cool. I would definitely fairy feet through toll booths on the highway. I'd fairy feet through so many things. Oh yeah. So that's a fire spell. Did you try it?
Yeah, but it didn't seem to do anything, or I don't know. I wasn't.
So maybe it's life, because life doesn't seem to do anything. So fire is linked. Remember, to a random spell here. If it's jump or fairy or shield, those are pretty obvious. Shield changes the color of your clothes, and jump, of course, and fairy. Yeah, but the other spells, which are life, reflect, spell, and thunder, they all look the same in town. Yeah, I think it is. How about that? That's good. It's like having an infinite reservoir of life. Once he realizes that's what it does. Which might take a while.
So the medicine was on the desert tile. And the trophy, there was a hint that it was in the east, and trailz got it. I don't know from where.
No, wait. I don't think the medicine was. The trophy was on desert tile, actually. Because remember, trailz got the medicine in the west at the very beginning of the game.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Trophy was on the desert tile.
Desert tile, yeah. So
the trophy.
trailz has nothing to worry about in regards to spells at this point.
But he does have something to worry about in regards to gloves at this point.
Yep.
So. I don't mind playing as a member of #TeamNoDownSeb. I mean, I like to have downseb, but I'm okay without it. Yeah, they just. Do they have jump or fairy? I don't think they do. So to get these sword techniques, which are the downstab and the upstab, you have to get to the upper floor of buildings, which requires either the jump spell or the fairy spell. And these gentlemen have neither of those. That's why they have not acquired any sword techniques at almost an hour. Yeah, right? You would think. You would also think that you could just bash enemies with the hammer. But, then again, Link is also unable to swim across this dinky little channel, so I don't think resourcefulness is the number one trait. Yeah.
Yeah, Link is allergic to water and lava.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. So when you play this game, if you ever see a gap in the floor that is not full of liquid, you can jump into it. And that will drop you into another room. the only pits that you cannot jump into are liquid filled ones. Yeah. Ms. Lost, my time schedule has nothing to do with time zones at all, so I might end up calling some races that are at awkward times. Because I have this kind of cool combination of available at random times and short notice. But yeah, alright, we are in P5 with Buzz, and trailz in P. Yeah,
I believe they're both.
I think it's both in P5.
place,
Yeah. Someone must be on original hardware, and someone else on an emulator.
Most probably was Thunder.
Is which one?
trailz plays in emulator.
Any races today? You're looking at one.
I believe we don't have a tournament race today because we're already on Tuesday, but we will have the weekly race.
Yeah. I don't think I'm gonna make it this time. Not, unfortunately. Okay. Oh yeah. So trailz. Yeah, trailz on emulator.
Hate to break it to you guys, but we do have a race this evening.
When's that?
Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, you.
I mean, it's still Monday where I'm at, but yes, there is a match scheduled for Tuesday. So if you're over on the East Coast or over in Europe, there is a match later today.
That's really nice to know.
We're gonna see
It is a
Theorwolf
very
versus
interest-
Nightcrawler.
Right. There you go. Later today. All right. You and the police departments, where 1 a.m. is early, whatever day, morning. I think for everyone else, that's still the night of the day before. I don't know, Victor. What time of day would you say that madrugada starts? Like maybe 3 or 4?
I don't know. I always go to sleep like at 3 or 4.
No, like
Teacher
when
used to say,
like when is the border between la noche and la madrugada?
technically it's 12 p.m. 12 a.m. Sorry.
So you would say las 12 de la madrugada?
No, I'd say las 12 de la
Two.
noche y la 1 de la madrugada.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I'd say it's from 1 p.m. 1 a.m.
Okay. So, I mean, I don't know. Spanish speakers I know mostly from Uruguay would say las 2 de la noche, 3 de la noche. Wouldn't really start madrugada until like 4. Okay, we got Guma here. That's what is usually regarded as the most annoying boss, but that was not very annoying for Buzz.
Yeah, it was very quick.
And is that his last palace? I want to say it might be. Let's look at
it. It is. And yeah, so yeah, this seed was very generous in terms of the experience points, especially because of these guys that give you 700 points in 1 kill. So
So with the overnights, did you when there was a time change, if you live in somewhere that has a time change, did you start an hour later or something?
I'm technically on Eastern time, but as time didn't change, I'm an hour early.
Oh,
So
I'm talking. I'm
it's
actually
12.
That was a question
Yeah.
from Ms. Lost, who was writing
Oh,
about
sorry.
working overnights in the chat. I was just wondering what you do when the time changes to daylight stupid time, from which we can infer my opinion on time changes. But because an 8-hour shift would become an overtime by an hour for that day. All right, this is Great Palace. So those are only required a minority of the time. Going without the glove is kind of a fool's errand, but there's 2 fairy block rooms out of 47 non-dead end rooms.
And trailz gets the glove, and there's Thunderbird.
Indeed.
Early Thunderbird could mean huge palace ahead. So yeah, we'll see what happens, because trailz is gonna place those 2 gems very quickly.
There's only 2.
You could have a race.
2 rooms that need upstab or downstab. Just the ones with the giant column of blocks. And those are 50-50 odds of each. Because going one way it's downstab, and going the other way it's upstab. I don't know what other rooms. What other rooms are you saying are required?
Yeah, there are 6 rooms that could be dangerous for Boss Thunder's ambition.
There's 1 room that you can use either the jump spell or the fairy spell or a combination of upstab and the glove. But that is the room. Okay, so the room that he's in right now, next to those breakables, there's a false floor on the 2nd floor. You can jump through it. You can also fairy up through it. Or you can just break blocks.
Yeah, we're seeing Boss Thunder dealing with this room, but first he will have to deal with this bird.
You can thunder it twice if you can afford that. Shield is a thing. Alright.
So yeah, this fight will be harder than the Thunderbird fight.
Yeah, I think this boyo is like the real boss of this seed. Did it. Nicely done. Nicely done indeed.
But yeah, it is a very big gamble from Boss Thunder, but I guess he knows who he's against. So yeah, having trailz breathing on your neck forces you to do this kind of stuff.
Okay, so that guy, there's a 50-50 chance of a magic jar refill, red jar, which is a full refill, or that red boyo. And if you just go back in there, you can try it again. In fact, there are 2 of those in that room. There's one in the way left configuration of blocks as well. So you could get 2 magic refills in the same room. Which you could use one to refill your life and then get another one, if that's your thing.
And trailz misses the Canadian hole. I don't know if that was required. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Jacob, but you could at least thunder somebody with it. Which thunders your friend. Especially in those rooms with the vertical white bubbles coming out of the floor. Those things seriously do damage. I think even at life 8 they do a whole box of damage if you don't have shield on. But thunder makes them go away. Yeah.
And this is a downstab required room. No, it is not. Sorry.
You can just
yeah.
You can just go left or right through the blocks that are there. It's convenient to have downstab because you break 1 block instead of 8. But it's doable. Don't forget that you have sidestab.
Yep.
Sidestab. It's easy to forget, actually. You get used to doing that a certain way. But
It would be funny to have like a rando thing where you can only start with down 7 amp step and you have to learn the side step technique.
oh geez. I've been playing some seeds lately with starting with up 7, down 7, but 1 or 2 heart containers. All right.
And GG. We're
Oh,
almost there.
he's got 1 life box.
Thunder.
No, he's got 1 life box. Let's not count that chicken yet. Because the shadow could get him for 1 life box. Probably won't, but yeah. Oh, he's got a life, okay. And that's it. Buzz is first place.
So yeah, GG to him. That was a great race. That was a big gamble, but it paid off. And wow, I'm
1 hour.
surprised. That was great.
Interesting philosophies here. I mean, I wouldn't call it a big gamble because fairy block, you got a 2 out of 47 chance. Upstep block, you got a 2 out of 47 divided by 2 chance, so 1 out of 47. And upset block, you got a 1 out of 47 chance. Those are not big chances. So he made the right decision. I mean, yeah, you go through more than 1 room, but okay. A more accurate way to say it is only 1. The equivalent of 1 room is downstep block because it's half chance of 2 rooms. You have to go through them the right direction. The equivalent of 1 room is upstep blocked, and there are 2 rooms that are fairy blocked. Is a better way to say it. That.
So we see, for a moment, we saw our hero of today looking at the camera. And we will see the Ewok dance party.
Oh yeah, I'm getting in here for the chat. I'm dividing by 2 because if you go left or right, it's a downstep block, and if you go right to left, it's upstep block. Down goes Barba. Barba's annoying without the jump spell. Yeah. He did. So there's a small but not insignificant chance of being blocked. But it'll be really annoying to go get them. Because that would mean going to get the spells first to be able to get them. Which was... They didn't come across.
It would have been it would have been a lot of time because you don't know where to start looking for those. So
yeah, I mean, because we didn't even
made the right decision.
Yeah, that would have been a heck of a fetch quest because they didn't even uncover those through their exploration. So wouldn't have been a quick fetch quest. But yeah. Yeah, that's for sure. Trailz is one of the better. I mean, Trailz is one of the best. Buzz is also one of the best. They're both very good players of this rando. Are we gonna get Buzz in here for an interview? Maybe, kind of, sort of. Flight stick. What is this flight stick thing that people are talking about? Someone, Eon was talking about that too. What is that? Okay, I remember my fellow commentator here plays with a musical keyboard, MIDI keyboard. So you knock yourself out with your flight stick.
Oh, Toasty!
What is that? Is that random or is that from something?
The Toasty?
Yeah.
That comes from Mortal Kombat.
Okay. And then there's also boiling hot magma, which sounds like it's like South Park maybe or something, but I don't know. Is that from anything?
Yeah, I don't know that one.
Where? Okay, it's Austin Powers. Thank you, chat. Buzz, we want you in here. Let's see, Ms. Lost, can you get Buzz into the chat? Into the voice chat? Maybe? Sorry, Buzz. We really don't hate you. Let's see. Can I? Maybe, I don't know. Victor, can we invite Buzz?
Let me check things.
Sorry, Buzz. Cold shoulder waiting for you after winning this seed. I didn't do it. Oh, dude. I don't know if we have the permission. Oh. Ms. Lost a Pirate, hop into voice and she'll pull you in. All right.
Am I here?
You're here, GG.
Hey, thank you.
Solid, well played. You almost sub-houred it.
That was that was an exciting one. I felt good about that.
Yep. trailz doped out of Death Mountain without getting Spectacle Rock, and that's proved costly.
Oh, geez, yeah. I was hoping that he would have done the same thing. I don't know. I was just happy about, and I like the ones where I don't get anything. You know what I mean? Like that kind of gave me everything pretty early, and I was like, well,
yeah.
You know, maybe there's a chance that, like, especially when I was in 6 and I kept. I tried to get into that fairy gap a couple times. I was thinking, man, I'm gonna have to go find that.
I think you have to have the 2 crumbling bridges over it to get in there, right?
I don't know. I've never done it. I've seen it done, and it's just, you know, it's tricky. You have to like either hit the screen.
Yeah. You can slash the bottom one of the 2 crumbling bridges, and that'll like the recoil can knock you into that fairy gap.
No.
Otherwise, I haven't been able to do it unless that room is directly above that other room. So,
yeah, that's where I first thought I was gonna have to go do that. But then after that, it was just lingering in my mind the whole time. I was like, well, this might still be flute blocked. But then I just found 5 sitting out in the middle of nowhere, and yeah, it was great. I didn't have anything, but was able to do it pretty quick.
Yeah, more than just pretty quick. That was that's solid. That's solid. Pretty quick. I mean, pretty quick. Almost sub-houred it.
So, what led you to go for Spectacle Rock?
What led me? It was at the point where I don't know. Well, I guess I did get the hint that it was in the west, but I still decided to check the caves anyways. And once I got the hammer, and then found the other entrance, I figured, oh, maybe I should just look around. Maybe the rock's right here, and it was. And apparently, that was the game breaker.
Oh, so you were actually looking for the raft in there? The hint? I thought the hint was the raft.
Well, no. I was. I'm saying when I went into the first entrance of Death Mountain,
Uh-huh.
and then I just peeked around in all the caves, and then ended up getting the hammer out of that one.
Uh-huh.
But then when I found the other entrance, yeah, that's when I decided to I might as well look around because I had the hammer. But
Okay.
yeah, because the raft was hammer blocked too, so that was always a possibility.
Yeah. Was there a hint for the glove? Or
There was not. No, there was a hint for the raft.
yeah.
So I knew it was in the overworld. So it was at that point where I think I had a 50-50 chance whether it was going to be hammer blocked or not.
Yeah.
Um,
Right, because Death Mountain's not the West. If it was in Death Mountain, they would have said.
right, it would have said Death Mountain. Yeah, right.
So.
But I still decided to check around in there anyways. For you never know. If you find
do.
a hammer cave in the first entrance, it can lead to good things. Apparently.
Yeah, I mean, with all those items outstanding, you might as well check it. So that maybe
most of the time, I completely ignore it. But when I got to that point where I might have been hammer blocked out of the item, I decided to check.
Yeah, and you wouldn't want to have to come back. I mean, you're already in there. Rock's right there. That was the right decision. Sure. Not just because it worked out the way it did. The odds are on your side of that.
Well, I guess. It's easy to say. It's easy to say it was a good decision when it worked out.
Yeah, for sure. But relative to the opportunity cost of having to go back later, if, it'd be better to dig it at the time that you're already in there. So, let's see, what else was a game breaker? There are a couple other things. You definitely ran the palaces in a pretty optimal order.
Yeah, it wasn't anything spectacular. It just kind of forced you, straight to Dark Link. There wasn't really anything fancy with that palace. You didn't really have to make any decisions. Because you had T-Bird, you're forced into that drop. That was fun, trying to kill that blue bird in that room.
Yeah, we were talking about how that's the real boss.
Yeah, that was a good one. Well, it's like, yeah, I think you could knock him off the left side of the screen, and he might not come back or whatever, but then by the time I died, I was like, well, maybe I can thunder him and just kill him. But luckily I picked up an extra life at some point before that. There was a lot of extra lives in this one.
Yeah, those blue dudes are killable with 2 thunders in general. So there's this random guy in the chat wants to know why you went back west at one point.
Why I went back west?
That question in the chat.
I did it a couple times just because the raft tile was right there, and it would have been faster than for me to backtrack by walking, especially when I was in whatever was in
the
Valley of Death. Walking back through the Valley of Death, I think probably would have taken me longer than to just up A and go back.
Yeah. Yeah, because Swiss Valley of Death is unavoidably Valley of Death, as opposed to Brackett's Valley of Death, which...
Right, yeah, I mean, it's a little tricky, and then at that point, I would just like... It's right there. I would just rather not risk falling into lava a couple times, because I didn't have any defense there, especially one of the spawns had a invisible MOA in it.
Yes, it did.
And yeah, it's like, yeah, well, I don't know, I can cast thunder or whatever, but I just figured it'd be faster to walk because there was that other path untaken in the other direction too, and I still had like half the continent to explore.
The MOAs are Fred in that one, right? Like the vanilla equivalents, I think, also have them. But,
oh yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, it doesn't make them any less annoying.
No.
But what's interesting is that the MOAs, when the flying enemies in Great Palace are invisible MOAs, they're so weak. Like it's one hit kill, even if you have a low-ish attack level. Whereas like some of those other ones, like the ones in Kasuto and the ones that are in East encounters, can take 6 hits at attack 8. So
yeah, I didn't realize that the Great Palace ones were weaker.
Yeah, no, there's Jake Huber, there's MOAs in every Great Valley of Death thing in vanilla. They're in all of the things. They're in the random encounters and the forced ones. Oh, the GP? No, I don't think so. I don't know what's in the rooms that are wrong way rooms in the Vanilla Palace, but there definitely are not any of them in the correct path. I don't think so. I think they are randomized flying enemies. The other thing I don't really understand is why the raw heads over that bridge in Palace 4 are always raw heads. Those don't seem to be randomized with anything else. And actually, all the raw heads are always raw heads. Sorry, didn't mean to go over. I mean, when I repeat things that you know, it's mostly for the other chat denizens. Buzz.
Yes, sir.
You are 1-0.
Fantastic.
And thank you, but not thank you for putting trailz into the 0-1 group. I'm probably gonna get him next week. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, trailz is the guy. He races this all the time. He used to. I haven't been racing this game in a long period of time because honestly, I was boycotting it, trying to get Dig Shake guilted into releasing an update for it, which didn't work. So I haven't played it in a while, and I thought I was gonna get hosed in this one, but everything kind of fell my way.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, he'll do it. He'll get around to it.
If you say so.
Yeah, I mean, if I really wanted to guilt him into it, I might try guilting him with a donation, but yeah.
He tried. But he kind of made a mess with the town swap thingy, and I guess he got discouraged and got other things to do.
I mean, what other updates are in the works other than fixing the spell items only thing, which becomes nothing, which becomes no hits?
I mean, I don't know specifically what he was actually doing, but I mean, there's been so many ideas that have been proposed for it.
Yeah.
The last update he didn't release it, but he randomized the value of pivacs.
Oh yeah, I remember that conversation.
He fixed some of the bugs that we have, like for example, when you leave the palace in 3i Rock, you get dropped into the forest tile that has New Kazuto. That's a weird glitch, and he fixed that. Okay. And he was working on swapping towns for their equivalent town in the other side. So, for example, Rudo will get swapped with Darunia, Rauru with Naburu, and Saria with. But yeah, the first try he did, he was very confident, and it failed.
Yeah, old
it was very buggy. So I guess that discouraged him, and he gave up. But hopefully he will get on it soon.
I always wondered why you can't randomize the number of magic containers. There must be some hard code that keeps you from doing that. Because it seems like something you'd obviously randomize if you could.
I think it was more out of like necessity, just because spells can end up being so expensive. I'm not really sure if that was part of the reasoning.
Yeah, a gameplay reason. What would be kind of neat would be to specify an interval for those kinds of things. It'd be nice to say 2 through 8 heart containers, but please not 1.
Well, because if it's 1, then you might be forced to grind to magic 8 test under.
Yeah, and if you didn't turn the beep off, then have fun with your life.
So GG to trailz, who finished with a time of 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 14 seconds.
Yeah, GG.
And he's here with us.
trailz.
GG, man.
Hey, thank you, man. If I hadn't found the glove and the spectacle rock earlier, I was thinking about going back, but I felt so far behind getting the raft that I just said screw it and went east. And then of figures that that's where I was. I even dug the item out of 5.
When you got the hammer and you were already in Death Mountain, you didn't go Sunshine Mountain. You didn't feel like looking for the rock.
No, I had to turn around and go through a pass-through cave. The connector on the bottom had the Spectacle Rock. The connector at the top had Hammer Cave. So I would have had to backtrack and then go back up north to where the Hammer Block Cave was. I never did find Magic Container Cave.
Oh, so it was like 2 segments?
Was that where the boots were? Was Magic Container Cave the boot?
I never saw Magic Container Cave either.
Yeah, no one got the boots. By process of elimination, you're probably right.
I didn't even get Fairy or Downstab at the end. I just want, just to finish it.
Yeah, Bust Thunder either.
You guys are both hashtag team no Downstab.
Who needs it?
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I mean, there are rooms where you do need it, but that late in the game, I didn't feel like turning in the kid or whatever the trophy for jumper or fairy or whatever. Nice fire linked with life spell though.
Do you guys think that Rose Citizen will have looked for downstab or upstab before entering Great Palace?
Do I think that he will get downstab or upstab before Great Palace?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Those would have been long fetch quests.
Yeah, me too.
Because you guys didn't come across jump or fairy at random. So
I mean, I had the trophy and I had the kids, so I could have gotten either one of them.
You were just hanging on to those. All right.
I just didn't feel like it.
Yeah, well, it turned out to not be necessary. Pretty minimal.
Thank God. If it was necessary for like P6 for the glove or something, that would have been a nightmare. So it was a gamble.
At least it would have been a nightmare for both of you. So, same nightmare for your opponents. But, yeah. Anyways, well played, gentlemen.
Except for the fact that if I wouldn't have trolled myself with that glove, I would have placed a much better time. I know in Palace 5, I wasted 3.5 minutes because after I killed Guma, it was 33-minute mark or 43-minute mark, but when I left there, it was 3 minutes later, and that's after digging the item out, which was a 1-up dial.
Some trolley thing like that.
So I figured at that point that was my only shot at beating Buzz Thunder. With all the bullcrap I was going through, I figured if Glove is here, then I should be good. But if Glove is in Spectacle Rock, I've already lost the race.
Yeah, Buzz definitely raced it well. So did you. You guys are both among the best. No question about it. So, and I said, thanks a lot, Buzz, for making you 0-1. So now you're going to be thrown in with the rest of us 0-1s next week. I'm kind of already counting myself preemptively as an 0-1 because I play Rose City Saint this week. Yeah.
Hell, you never know.
Or you could get Big Chick or
the classic one.
Or you can just
the classic one. Being able to print out the maps that's a game because I have to draw them for these seeds, which is more of a time waster.
Well, just beat Rose City Saint then. Let me face him in
just beat him. Just no
trailz versus RCS an 0-1 match would be fantastic.
Oh Lord,
what are the odds?
Not good because Sweet Love still has to beat Rose City Saint. Odds of that are not very good, but I will give it my best shot. And who knows? I mean, I'll probably do some wild routing in Great Palace just because that's the only way, right? If it's left, then maybe I got a shot. But we'll see. We probably won't be able to play until Saturday. So stay tuned.
Well, I'm looking forward to it either way. Thanks for the restream, guys. I appreciate it. Good race, trails. Good luck, everyone. I'll talk to you guys later.
Yep. Let's wrap it. Unless there's any questions in chat. Otherwise, let's make it a wrap. Thanks for a good game and a good stream and a good everything. Good tracking. There you go.
So I guess, we should wrap it up. So good night, everybody. Thank you for watching. And I would like to thank Zelda Speedruns channel for making this possible. And of course, our restreamer and our tracker.
You give a shout out to the trackers who have not even really played this game and yet are still tracking it flawlessly.
Our restreamer Lost the Pirate and our tracker, I hope I pronounced this right, Dark Ride 12.
Darker 12.
Okay.
Or at least that's how I've always said it, and I haven't been corrected yet, so whoops if it's wrong. So yeah, just wanted to let folks chilling out in chat, hanging out through the interview know what we've got coming up over the next few days, because, oh my goodness, it's a lot of rando! A lot of tourney matches! Tomorrow, or later today for a lot of the world, I'm one of those weird West Coasters where it's still technically Monday here. Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern, we've got Link to the Past Randomizer tourney match, Haikytype versus Sonicam. Later on in the afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern, Hitzion 1337 versus Freddy. An hour later at 5 p.m., we've got another Link to the Past rando, Bonta versus Frostbite 3030. Then, a little later...
I'm betting that 1337 is probably pronounced lead.
Yeah, I know. But I still say it 1337 anyway because, I don't know. I think that sounds more interesting than lead. Anyway, tomorrow at 7 p.m., welcome back, Z2R folks. We've got oh god. I can't words. I'm sorry. It's tonight. Theirwolf versus Nightcrawler. On a Wednesday, we have even more rando coming up. Wednesday at 3 p.m., we've got a Beta Quest Lockout semi-finals match for the OOT Lockout tourney. Bonnaroo versus Senzo. This is gonna be hype, guys. Later on in the day, Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, we've got Riku Player versus Amazing Ampharos, coming back with more Z2R. After that, we've got double rando, so we're going to be taking up 2 of the channels if we can get enough volunteers for it. At 9 p.m., we've got the Alan Heffley versus Amazing Toaster, and probably on ZSR2 if we can get enough volunteers, we've got Cross Product versus Fon2D2. And we've got even more coming up later in the week, but I'm not going to rattle through the whole damn schedule for all of y'all because that's already too much to keep track of in your head. But we've got a whole bunch of matches coming up, and I'm really excited for all of it because we've got so much cool rando going on. And y'all know I'm a giant nerd for rando. So thank you very much to Victor and Sweet Love, who both pulled double tonight along with me, doing the back-to-back races tonight. Well, not quite back-to-back. We had a little downtime between them, but pulling double shifts tonight. Thank you so much so that chat knows what the hell is happening. Without you, we would all be lost, and nobody wants to be me.
I knew you were going to do that.
Of course, I can't help but make the terrible puns. It's what I'm here for.
Yeah. And on most probably Saturday, you get to see a girl using her hair as a sword. Stay tuned. All right. Can you commentate your own race?
No, that's not allowed. I'm sorry, because the commentary link does have both, and I'm reasonably sure stream sniping's against the rules for this tourney.
There are spoilers.
I appreciate the enthusiasm, but
because anything the other player discovers, we're gonna say out loud. So you couldn't really be in that stream. But yeah, Nightcrawler's a good commentator though. He's quality commentator.
Well, sign up, peeps. I should throw the Discord link once again if you are interested in joining in with all these fun matches we've got coming up, join the tournament Discord. We are accepting volunteers for tracking and for commentating. If you know how this game works, sign up. If you don't know how this game works, sign up as a tracker and make sure you've got a co-tracker signed up the same shift for you. So that, you know, we like to help each other out around here. So this is literally my only second match tracking Z2R, and my first was a few hours ago. So, you know, all the mistakes, lay them solely on my head. I take ownership of it, but I'm gonna get better, and all the rest of us will continue to get more practice as we get more acquainted with this.
Yeah, you'll keep coming back.
Oh
It's
yeah,
a great game.
I love Vanilla Zelda 2. I can't hide my enthusiasm. It was one of my favorite games as a kid, despite the fact that I honestly have never beat it, even when I went back as a teenager and cheated the hell out of it with save states. Could never get through, because I'm a scrub, but that's okay. I love it, and it doesn't matter if I'm bad at it.
Yeah, I bet you're not bad at it. As far as being off-putting to totally new players of games in general, I think it was probably a mistake for them to force you through a dark cave at the very beginning of the game. Because that was a bunch of people were like, what the...
Yeah, but you learn where the one enemy in it is pretty easily enough. I mean, you can see it crawling on the ground.
Yeah, but if it was your grandma trying to play it, and, you know, that kind of thing.
No, it was just 6-year-old me.
6?
Yeah, I'm old, okay? I'm
No,
honestly,
you're not. You were
old.
only 6 when this thing came out. And you
Well,
are
no, I was 6 when I got to play it first. I'm older than the Legend of Zelda franchise. Not by much, but I'm older. I'm the weird old lady who hangs out with all the speedrunners. We have fun around here, though.
So you were 6 in 1987 or later?
No, we got it hand-me-down. My family was not well off when I was a youngster.
Which would make you even younger then.
Yeah, middle-aged. It's close enough.
Alright.
I'm old enough.
Life keeps getting better.
Oh, yeah. Don't I know it.
Alright, I'm gonna run. Thanks for the support, tracking and all that, and coordination and everything. And you won't be seeing too much of me for the next few days because I'll be in transit, but probably play Rose City Saint on Saturday and get absolutely slaughtered.
Yeah, well, when it's ready, get it on the schedule and we'll get it posted. And hopefully, like I said, for all these matches, I'm so thankful you guys showed up today so that we could get both of these first 2 matches restreamed. Hoping we can do the same with the ones tomorrow and everything going forward. Really want to be able to showcase this because this game's too fun to not show off.
Yeah, definitely.
Just wait until you see Nightcrawler's sprite and my new items.
Oh, I'm sure I'm going to be very confused.
I mean, I'll put some sort of translation key on my stream window. I turned the glove into a knuckle duster. I turned the flute into a MIDI keyboard in honor of Victor, who actually plays the game with a keyboard as a controller sometimes. And then I changed what else did I change? I changed the boots into an Air Force One, Nike Air Force One, because you know my stylish.
Yeah, I saw earlier tonight during the beginning of the first match the fact that the sword blades was shooting the reflect sprite out was throwing up our fearless leader Trezco. He was like, "Hey, track reflect."
Oh. Okay, so
that's why that got marked wrong right at the very beginning.
So that's actually a flag.
That is a hashtag blame Trez situation right there.
Yeah, that's a flag.
I saw on one player's side it was reflecting, on the other player's side it was fireball. That's what their sword beams were showing off as.
Yeah, the fireball is probably from the fire spell. which remember is tied to other spells.
Yeah, but it was
So,
being used when
That it
other stuff wasn't getting used.
can also be the sword beam. It can be a
Yeah.
fire.
I'm pretty sure that's what was going on, because this was right from the get-go before they had anything.
Okay. I mean, so there,
And it was
you
going
can
off when none of the magic meter was getting used up, so...
you can change the sprite of your sword beam and also of the unblockable projectiles, like the red Dyra axes and the blue lizard maces and the all the little stupid things like Octoroks and stuff that normally shoot blockable things. The ones in Great Palace shoot fire that's not blockable. So those are all in the same class of things you need reflect to block. So you can change the sprite for that, and you can also change your sword beam separately. So that's a flag for next time.
Yeah, that trolled me earlier, and it trolled our fearless leader Trezco. So if you're sub to ZSR, get your blame Trez in chat if you're still lurking around here, because oh my goodness, we've been chatting for a while. I should let y'all go to sleep.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if you want to just download the Randomizer program and just poke through flags, and you can.
I did when it got shown off at the ZSR staff relay a little while back.
Okay.
It looked cool, and so I downloaded it. I don't know if there's been an update since, but I did pick it up for myself. I just haven't had a chance to play it.
Message me in the Discord if you need an explanation of anything. So, alright, and I'll explain it to you in many words. I have a talent for squeezing many words into few ideas. Alright, I'm gonna let you guys go. Thanks. And until probably Saturday. Sayonara.
Yeah,
Chat,
good evening.
y'all, have a wonderful evening. Thanks to everybody for sticking around. And like I said, we will be back here on ZSR at 11 a.m. Eastern for Link to the Past Rando. See y'all in the morning.